Welcome back to the Weekly News Roundup. These are recorded live Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Daylight Time, whatever time. It's 8 o'clock in New York, whatever time that is. That's where we're doing it. Not that we're filming from New York. No, we're in far worse places right now, but you know. I joke. California is a beautiful state, but the politics are a little nuts. Especially, hey, I feel better, though, being in this state when the governor is in China for some reason. Yeah. You know, that being said, these are recorded 8 o'clock Eastern on Friday nights. You can catch the show live over there. We are experimenting with something tonight. We'll probably do this for a couple weeks. Let me know how you like this. Basically, we're going to do 3 headline stories. Everything else has been thrown out. Except for SillyVille, we have 4 in there. Those usually go fast anyway. They're just read the headline, talk briefly about it, laugh about it. No big deal. So we're going to see how that works today. But we also have privacy, security, business, and SillyVille. That AI is kind of fading into the background for the last few weeks, if you've noticed. I think people, the allure of it is wearing off, or it's just become deeply integrated into all aspects of society, and I'm not sure which one is worse. But let's go ahead and get started here today with our first one is an update from Wired. This deals with the EU governing bodies as trying to push the CSAM scanning on all devices, and their proposal would force backdoors into effectively everything to allow them to scan for anything that is abusive. Now, as propaganda goes in the modern era, they actually utilized propaganda, and that's really what this the scandal in the headline here is about. Is they utilized some propaganda to try to direct people in the direction they would want the survey to go. So effectively what they did is they used ad profiles on all these different social media networks, which is why I'm a huge advocate of hiding your privacy about such things. And then they specifically targeted people that they knew wouldn't have a problem with this to answer their surveys, coming back with a survey that says, see, the vast majority of people really want the government to be able to scan all these devices for these things. You know, obviously, anybody in their right mind, including myself, does not want CSAM floating around in the world. But we have to have this balance between privacy and technology that says, hey, we can't just go around mistrusting everybody, looking for whatever we allege is illegal, and then at that point in time, send down the hammer on it. And the challenge we have with this is they're using CSAM specifically because everyone can get on board with how bad this is. The problem is once the technology is in there, it can be applied to anything and everything they want. And you may not know when something changes that they are, well, we got to look for this too because it's critical. And then at that point in time, you have absolutely no privacy in any way, shape, or form from your government. And that is a slippery slope we don't want to fall into. But they tried to sway the public opinion by pushing out surveys based on who they knew from their advertising profiles would be okay with that. So then they could put out the survey to hopefully sway even more people to vote in favor of this abuse. Very interesting. So yes, governments do propaganda and PSYOP all the time. All governments do. It's not just those evil Russians, those Putin guys. No. Everyone does it too. Why do you think we joined World War II? Propaganda. I wrote all about it in my book, I Am Not Amused, if you are interested in seeing it. That's not what the book is about, but there is a section in one of the chapters about media propaganda, and we did delve pretty deep into some government documents to do that. Second up is Google Chrome wants to hide your IP address. This one sort of baffles me. Google is coming out and saying, yeah, this IP address tracking is kind of problematic, and we need to have a way to not allow this to happen because it's too easy to be abused. Talk about the pot calling the kettle like completely burnt to ash. I'm telling you what. But ultimately, I think what they're doing here, if I have my random guess, call it the cynicist in me, but if I have the random guess, they're pulling out the ability for Chrome to track IP addresses, which is going to cripple their competitors. Because as long as you're logged in, and most people are logged into their Google services, as long as you're logged in, they already know exactly who you are. They have better than your IP address. With the IP address, it takes a court subpoena in order to figure out who you are. If you're logged into your Google account, they know exactly who you are across all sorts of platforms, and they do not need to rely on the IP address. So them scrapping the IP address puts damage to their advertising competitors who no longer can build shadow profiles based on IP addresses, and it allows them to move ahead because the people are going to be signed in on their particular devices. So we'd see Meta get involved in something like this as well. So they are testing this out, not by blocking the IP addresses across the internet on a few Chrome users. They're specifically doing the IP blocking on a few specific dedicated Google products, and only if people are logged into their account. So it kind of tells you that's what I think they're doing. And I am certainly open to other ideas. It's just everything I know about how this marketing and how these companies work suggests that is exactly what is going on. So, they do have a few concerns here, but, ultimately, that's their goal and their purpose. I really think that this is to get a better handle against their competitors. That's what I think is going on. Again, I could be open to other ideas about that as well. And our last story in privacy today, even Google's CEO cannot understand Google's privacy controls. So, Pichai told Congress users could clearly see what data Google is collecting. And then Congress is like, oh, wow, that's impressive. And the rest of us that know what's going on just laughed hysterically and maniacally, like the vice president or something. Oh, little children are dying in Palestine. What kind of cackling weirdos we have running this country. All right. So, no one in the world seems to know how Google's privacy controls work. I mean, actually, the technical guys seem to have a better grasp of it. So what Pichai told Congress is that you log into your account and there's just an easy checkbox which will turn all that kind of stuff off. And the problem is that the expert testimonies that are more familiar with the software are coming in saying, I don't know of anything like that. He says you might be looking of the web and app activity checkbox. However, they call that a fake control because it does not actually block any data. All that does is it blocks them from utilizing the data collected by the app to build the personal advertising profile. It has nothing to do with Google collecting or not collecting data. You see, you're not going to stop Google from collecting all of the data and putting it on the back end of their servers. The question is, they have a little yes or no, can this data be shared across all platforms, some platforms, whatever? And that's a simple software code. Google has the data. The data can be used. It can be harvested. It can be subpoenaed. It can be collected. It can be bought and sold under bankruptcy or a trading company. It can be shared with their other sister companies under the same corporate umbrella. But what they can't do if you uncheck that box is utilize that data specifically for advertising. Once again, they have set up the straw man of advertising as the end all. Oh my Lord, this data can be used for advertising. It is the spawn of evil, but it cannot be used for advertising. Therefore, the data collection is okay. And that is the level we need to get beyond. We need to get to the point where we recognize that all forms of data collection are problematic, and we need to have very strict laws about the amount of data a company can have and possible means to get rid of it. This is where, believe it or not, California is one of the few countries in the United States states in the United States doing it right, in that they are at least making laws to say, yes, you must have a way to have all of your data deleted. And that really is the direction. But this, Pichai goes up. He has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, does Pichai even use these services? I highly doubt it. There's just my thought, kind of like the keynote speaker at a Linux.org conference was using a Mac. Really? Really, bro? Really? You ain't selling this stuff in the world like that. Well, if you want to help support the channel, we do use affiliates. Today we're actually highlighting my science fiction novel, however. This is Synaptergy, tlm.li/s or synaptergy.com. You can come on over here. You can read the first chapter of the book, and you can actually listen to the first 5 minutes with the SoundCloud intro over there. And we have a number of places you can pick up the book, pretty much anywhere you can buy a print book, an ebook, or an audiobook. If you look on over there, you can pick it up. I don't have any purchase links on the author website, just so you know. If you want to know where to get it from me, Amazon's the best spot, especially since starting at the end of this month, all bookstores in the United States have forced a greater percentage of the cut of the book sale of books. So I'm actually losing an extra 10% from every store except Amazon. Go figure. But hey, I have my publishing company set up. We fixed all those adjustments today. And so my books will continue to be distributed. I'm just going to make less money per sale unless I jack up the prices some more. But, you know, oh well. Better a little bit than nothing at all, right? Well, let's head on over and have a look at some security news next. First up, Booking.com customers targeted by scam confirmation emails. This is nothing super new, although this is the first time I've heard Booking.com use it. Travelers using the popular hotel website Booking.com are being warned not to fall for scam emails asking them to confirm their hotel payment after a hack of Booking.com's email system. So basically the guys get in here, and what seems to be a little different from this is these seem to be, I believe they're more legitimate emails taken from the hack. Let's see. In each of these cases, the customer had either checked in or was due to check in from a hotel they had reserved using Booking.com. The email sent from no reply at Booking.com claims their stay may have to be canceled unless they hand over their bank cards via an embedded link. If they fail to do so within 4 or 12 hours, the emails will vary slightly. The reservations will be canceled. Notifications of the emails have also appeared on the company's app on mobile phones. Very interesting. Booking.com has strenuously denied its system has been hacked, has instead blamed the messages on breaches in the email system of its partner hotels. So everyone's passing around the buck. How wonderful. So I've seen a lot of these. In fact, I get hundreds of these, thousands a month if we look at those per month. So I thought about at some point in time, maybe I should just collect all these things and just go through my scam emails a couple times a month. That'd be fun, right? So some of them look seriously legitimate. Some are screwed up. Some are like, we've hacked your LinkedIn account. I haven't had one of those in a long time. Deleted that long ago. Some of them are just blanket phishing emails, assuming that everybody has a LinkedIn account, and therefore the average person doesn't think about it, clicks the link, and gets phished. All right. But that being said, went a little overboard there with my demonstrations. So that being said, you got to be extraordinarily vigilant. Even if something looks more legitimate, I had one that looked seriously legitimate. I forget which one it was. I can't remember. I think it was actually a company I'd used, but it came to an email I'd never used with that, which was certainly the giveaway. But they did a pretty good job of masking what it was supposed to be. I didn't fall for it, obviously. I always look at, just got to hover over the links and see where the links are trying to go. And that's going to kind of tell you what the issues are. But just be aware of any form of emails. Always good to go and log directly into the accounts if you think there's something going wrong. Next one is a dangerous new malware that can crack encrypted USB drives. So this right now seems to be very narrowly focused specifically on state computers and specifically in only a few small countries. But the problem is once something like this gets into the wild, it can easily spread. How the malware gets onto the computers is a different question, but what happens is the malware gets on the computers. The state employee will plug in the encrypted USB drive, and then this is basically a backdoor Trojan that allows the extraction of such data from the drives. So right now it is very narrow in focus. but there is a massive increase in spikes. So looking at this in 2000, what is this? 924 significant cyber incidents took place between 2006 and 2023. So that's, 924 is not a lot for that long range, or that is a lot for the long range, right? But so far there have been just, since that time, 722 cyber attacks. So down from 29, around 2020 up to 900 or so now happening per year. Just people breaking in and trying to discover the secrets on the different government computers. But this type of thing can go around. Probably it's malware that may spread with USB drives, being as it's specifically incorporating these. Well, our last one in security deals with what appears to be a man in the middle on Germany-focused servers from Hetzner and Linode. Both of these targeting a XMPP Jabber messenger service from Russia. But after doing a solid analysis of everything, the researchers conclude this is probably like the German police performing a man in the middle on these servers. So there's just a lot of markers that suggested this wasn't any form of breach or hack, but it was probably a police ordered man in the middle attack to transmit service. The take home message here is the XMPP clients used in a lot of different protocols, chat protocols. These actually can be breached by man in the middle, although that's going to be a lot harder to do without having more direct control on the server. And that's really what made it stick out as probably a police forcing this to intercept communications. Just be aware that is possible to do. So, yeah, but I think the risk of this one is fairly low. If you want to help support the channel, we do have a Patreon page, patreon.com/TOMM. That will help support the channel. And you can jump on over there, and we will have some science fiction short stories. Of course, I have not even started the next science fiction short story yet, so we got to work on that. I think I'm still debating which one I want to do. I have a pile of great ideas here. This one fell off my pile. I'm wondering if we should just do that. And then I realized there's two on that one, so I don't know what to do. But we'll get another one up there. Those are usually up on the 15th. Of course, if you are a new supporter on any of our platforms, make sure you go back and download that audiobook of the latest one. Those will expire on the 15th of the month, but you should be able to collect the back catalog of those, and you can certainly go back and read the text versions of those as well. At the end of the year-ish, or I don't know, sometime probably around March or April, I'm going to collect all those stories, compile those into a book, and we'll publish that book officially. So that's where the short stories are. But you can find those over on Patreon and the other supporter networks as well. Patreon.com/TOMM. And with that, let's head on over to business news. First up in business news, I love my robotaxis. Oh, they all got banned off of Los Angeles streets. So crews actually up in San Francisco ran into a problem. Well, it ran into a person, actually. Poor pedestrian, thump, thump. Thing goes over. Apparently, like, there was an accident and the pedestrian did something weird and the car didn't know how to respond. It's just like, hey, it ran over that pedestrian like a Tesla sees a child, and then during the investigation, the company withheld the security cameras from the car from the investigators. And they tend to not like it when you withhold evidence and information against them. And so LA just said, nope, you're done. Closed them all out. I can't remember. I think San Francisco suspended them all, at least. Announcement came shortly after California DMV yanked their permits away as well. So basically, hey, no more robotaxis. All we had to do was kill a person. Really? Yeah. See, this is why I've said for a long, long time, you go back to archives of this channel. Before we let self-driving cars on the road, we 100% have to know exactly who is liable. My default position, the company is always 100% liable for absolutely everything, absolutely every cost, and the CEO is going to have to pay pay into some of those losses. Unless, one little exception, absolute, crystal clear, definitive information is brought forward which suggests that the car was not at fault. I mean, in other words, any ounce of reasonable doubt, 100% liability on the company who owns that car. 100%. Kills a person, they need to be paying out a $500,000 plus, maybe $500 million plus life insurance policy to the family. Kind of like one state, I forget which state it was, recently passed a law. If a drunk driver kills a parent, they have to pay child support to the children for the rest of their childhood years. I'm okay with that law. I think we need to have that. The vehicle damages somebody else's car, the company 100%, no fighting. We got to fix the car. Done. You got to fix the car as fast as you can. Make it happen. You need to pay for all property damages. The only exception is if some moron's doing an insurance scam and intentionally runs and jumps in front of it, they can prove that happened. Okay, we're going to let them off liability on that. But any ounce of minor reasonable doubt, 100% company is at fault. But it's not all fair. Y'all are the ones that want to put self-driving cars on the road. I've lived through Windows 95. I don't want that in 75 miles an hour on the road, okay? Or even at 35 miles an hour on the road. I don't want my car to be hit by some stupid Waymo taxi because the Waymo taxi can't see that my van is there because it's so big, okay? That's the thing. So, yay for California. They've been doing some good things lately. This is the end of the world. California's been making a few positive choices lately. The end is nigh, guys. Do you realize the end is nigh? Basically, after this happened, Los Angeles, the motion will call for city attorney to join San Francisco's existing lawsuit against California Public Utilities Commission. About this issue. It all stems from, the Robotaxi runs somebody over and then the company decided to withhold information. What other information are they withholding? Very fascinating. Well, when using Brave, I've always, I use Brave, but I'm always suspicious about Brave. I hope I've made that clear over the years. I'm never going to involve myself in that bat. If somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to turn on bat for switch to Linux," don't do it. Don't waste your bat on that. I am not falling victim to their extortion scheme. But what they did to see, they're starting to show their true colors here a little bit. They are entirely funded by corporate VCs. They are not really any different than anybody else out there. Okay. What Brave browser did, this was back in 2022 when they started rolling out a VPN service. On an update, they install all of the components for that VPN on your Windows systems. Now, those of us using Linux and probably Mac, you're fine. But everybody running Windows and Brave, you probably have the VPN services pre-installed at the time of some update. So what these guys discovered is that the browsers have been automatically installing its 2 VPN services on Windows devices without user consent since 2022. Ghacks.net reported. The firm responded to this by claiming the additional tools won't start operating unless the user manually activates it. So, they just installed software and said, but you have to manually activate the software that we just installed on your system because we're the privacy company. Something about that didn't work. All right. So you have to manually activate it and pay for the VPN service. Nevertheless, this sort of underhanded installation may come as a blow to the privacy concerned people who turned to Brave. You think? So they actually go through, you can look at your system services. I think, where's it at down here? Okay, in the meantime, you can check your PC if the incriminating tools have been installed without your consent by heading to your services panel on the device via the run box, Windows plus R, type in services.msc and press enter. Go through the list of installed software, click on Brave Unwanted VPN services and delete them. So that's what they are saying you need to do. So yeah, Brave, they are still good in many ways, but I still have a hard time trusting the company, and I probably ever will. They will be a skeptical-based company forever. And our last story in business news, Microsoft may replace the Start button with a Copilot AI in Windows 12. Oh, joy. No more start button. I just push the start button and I get an, how may I help you, Dave? I can't do that, Dave. So the Copilot, let's see, for the Windows operating system, the next version of the Windows operating system launched somewhere in 2024. Microsoft has been dropping hints on a possible new feature since late last year. AI is most likely going to get a bigger focus since Microsoft is already collaborating with OpenAI and Copilot feature. But we could see some design changes that revolve around AI-based interactions as well. This was suggested by MS CEO Nadella and during the Snapdragon X Elite presentation on October 24th. The entire computing industry is shifting focus to support ever-increasing number of AI features. So now you just use this, and then Copilot's going to give you better ideas about what you want to do. You pull it in after a hard day at work. Okay, Dave, I think I'm going to guide you now, Dave. I can't do that, Dave. So the Copilot is like the start button, he says. It becomes the orchestrator of all your apps and experiences. So, for example, I just go there and express my intent, and it either navigates me to an application or it brings the application to Copilot and helps me learn, query, and create. It completely changes, I think, the user habits. So now Microsoft is getting in on the Google selfish ledger. First, let's get you addicted to the system or utilizing the system in such a way that it cannot be out. Okay, and then the second thing you're going to do is you're going to utilize the system to collect the data points you don't already have. That sounds like Windows 10. And now it's going to add a Copilot that is going to direct you in the directions that it wants you to go. It wants to, how to say, quote, completely change, I think, the user habits. I'm sorry, Mr. Nadella. I do not want you to change my habits. And I certainly, like, if it comes down to it, I want to push the start button and I want to pull up an application. I don't want to push the start button and say, I would like to write a document. Okay, Dave, I'm going to get you Word now. Oh, but Dave, we see you haven't upgraded your Word document. I see you're trying to run this evil, bad program called LibreWriter. I think we should drop this, Dave. You need to run Word, Dave. So, you know, I think it's kind of creepy that they're like, okay, we're not going to start this up to run an application. You're going to start this up to express your intent so it can navigate you to the application. What if we got like 4 different web browsers on there? What is your intent? Launch Firefox. No. What is your intent? Go on the internet. I think you should use Edge. I want to use Firefox. I think you should use Edge. I want to rethink your user habits, Dave. Let's pull up Edge. No, thank you. No, thank you. This is terrifying. Sorry. Let's see. I have not had to work with Windows 10. I have not had to work with Windows 11. I have a sneaky suspicion I will not have to work with Windows 12. Praise Linux Mint. Well, if you would like to help support the channel, we do have affiliates today. We are highlighting DigitalOcean. tlm.li/DOH for DigitalOcean hosting. You can get $200 in credit, good for 60 days. And that will help you test the system out, see what all it can do, and basically guide you in the steps you would need to either have your own VPN or your own cloud server, your own hosting site, your own Nextcloud, your own Jellyfin, just all sorts of fun stuff you can do inside of DigitalOcean. So you can go ahead and do that. With that, tlm.li/DOH. And now we're going to head on over to your favorite place and mine. Let's see what SillyVille is up to. First up, of course, we did talk about last week. It was Google now was getting the ability to scan sideloaded apps to make sure you're not installing malware. Well, they're going a step above now, and they're just scanning your device and telling you that, hey, you have harmful things. You need to get rid of them. What's harmful? Anything that's not in our store. Of course, Google falsely flags Samsung apps as harmful and tells users to remove them. Samsung says a server issue incorrectly flagged the apps, and it should be fixed now. Your device is at risk. One harmful app found. Samsung Wallet. I might actually agree with Google here. If you have Samsung Wallet on your device, to pay for things with your smartphone, please uninstall it and stop being an idiot, okay? I will agree with Google on that one, all right? Just fine, I'm joking. But seriously, why are you putting a wallet with your credit cards on your phone? Hey, I have to conveniently tap my phone. I still love it. You go into a store and there's people are there trying to tap their phone to pay. It's like, oh my God. Oh, we've entered idiocracy. We have this green stuff. It's called money. It pays for things, particularly small things like coffees and chips and stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, Google, I'm really going to trust Google to properly scan my sideloaded apps. It's going to say, I'm sorry, Dave. You should install this app from our store instead. Dave. Well, a woman named Siri was forced to change her name after Apple's latest iOS update. After a recent update, you no longer have to say, hey, Siri, you just have to say Siri. So this lady's name was actually Siri. Already you can tell she wasn't a fan of Apple. Now, with everybody talking, hey, Siri, get me this. Siri, get me Siri. No. Every time somebody calls her, Siri, do the dishes, the phone's like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Shut up. So, a woman in the UK said she's been forced to change her name because of the latest Apple update in Apple's iOS software. Edinburgh-based Siri Price told The Sun that she had to do this to stop iPhones from pinging every time someone calls out her name. 26-year-old fitness trainer, oh God, this makes it worse, is now known to friends as Sis. Told the outlet that Apple's voice-activated digital assistant would be triggered whenever her friends used the phrase, hey Siri, to call her. I work in a gym and a lot of people around, so everyone has quickly learned not to say hey when they're trying to greet me. And there would be a lot of bleeping going on, she said. Ms. Price told The Sun, after the recent update, now users only have to say Siri for their device to spring into action. It was annoying but manageable. Now people can't even say my name. I'm absolutely fuming. My workmates had to sit down and think of a workaround because people's phones have been going off nonstop. She said her name, Siri, means beautiful woman who leads you to victory in Old Norse, but Apple's acronym stands for Speech Interpretation and Recognition Interface. I'm sure Apple could have picked something else instead. There's plenty of people called Siri, and their lives have just become unbearable because of this. Apple so far has not said anything about the predicament. Another such bizarre incident reported from U.S. where a woman named Alexa Siri, oh God. Alexa Siri said her full name was a trigger for 2 digital assistants, which she was a walking nightmare. Hey, Alexa Siri, would you get me some unicorn meat and call my mom, right? Oh boy. I wonder if she can sue Apple to be like, yeah, all of the costs involved in changing my name, my license, on my cards, everything. Yeah, that's all on you. I think it'd be a hilarious lawsuit. She should file a lawsuit against Apple, saying, hey, what you did caused me and everybody with my name serious issues. We had to change our name. You're paying for that. That would be the funniest thing. All right. Motorola demos a smartphone that can wrap around your wrist. Again. Apparently I missed the first one of these. Don't expect this wearable smartphone to be released anytime soon, though. Look at this thing. It's just like, I'm not sure I trust this thing. Like, first and foremost, like, okay, it can wrap around your wrist. How does it stay there? Does it just stay there? Do you just take your phone and crimp it tight? How does that screen survive? I just don't think it will. This thing is nuts. All right, Lenovo's Motorola mobile brand is resurfacing the idea of a bendable bracelet-like smartphone. Demoed at Lenovo Tech World 23 in Austin, Texas, Motorola's adaptive display revisits a concept we've been discussing for years, but that does not seem to be getting any closer to actually being sold. On stage at the event, Lexi Verisol, innovation strategy, product, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They talked about the prototype. Basically a giant bendable phone. Why do we need this? Well, Blizzard. Oh, God. Blizzard is going to raffle off a human blood-infused PC if Diablo 6 players, is that Diablo 4 players, excuse me, donate 666 quarts of blood. No. Just no. Like, no. 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 You're going to have a COVID-infested, HIV-infested, herpes-containing, every other disease-containing. Can you imagine what type of viruses are in the blood of 666 people? Not 666 clean-cut, well-saying citizens, but 666 people who would actually donate blood to a company for a game called Diablo to make a bloody PC. No. 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 Giving blood will also earn players in-game rewards, but don't worry, donations are going to actual blood banks. Okay. We're giving up all that too. All right. So Blizzard hasn't exactly been subtle about the marketing in Diablo, but its latest PR stunt is especially on the nose to celebrate the release of the game's new season of Blood, the high payoff Blood Harvest events. It's introduced Blizzard has launched a month-long blood drive in the U.S. It'll unlock game rewards as more people participate. Once donations reach 666 quarts altogether, players will be able to enter a sweepstakes for a custom liquid-cooled PC infused with real human blood. No. 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 You guys that do hardware with liquid cooling, how efficient of a cooling is blood? I mean, we know it's good at carrying oxygen around, but, you know, it's effectively a liquid with a bunch of metal in it. So is it like, I imagine, no, what? No, you guys are going to break me. No. So, aside from the whole human blood and the coolant gimmick, Seasons of Blood custom PC features NVIDIA GeForce RTX 490, 4090 Intel i9 CPU, 64 gigs DDR5 RAM, 3 terabytes of storage, SSD storage, and a quantum vector GPU water block for cooling, and apparently a heart for passing blood. All right. Sweepstakes won't just be reserved for those who donated. Once the goal is met, any player in the U.S. over 18 can enter. The blood drive is now open through November 20th, and you don't need to go anywhere special to get it. Players 18 plus can donate at their local blood centers, then submit proof on the Diablo Blood Harvest website. Oh, God, I got to see that. Submit proof of a blood. Check on blood donation progress. Yes, how much blood have we done? Ooh, we're at 53%. Our fountain is dripping with blood. Let's see. We have a name, we have an email address, and then you gotta hit that information. All right, I don't know what else is going on there. All right. So if you happen to want a really good PC with some blood inside of it, go ahead and donate some blood. Oh boy, our world is yikes. Yikes. Well, if you want to help support the channel, you can head on over to Locals. I promise I won't be harvesting anybody's blood or raffling off blood-induced PCs. switchedtolinux.locals.com. Of course, over there you can find all the short stories I'm talking about, and you can get the links to participate in the Thursday show. With that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.